Hey guys, it's Christy here. I think this is the first video I have made for this class, so it's good to see you even though I'm not seeing you. I hope everyone's good. The work I've gotten so far has been great. Know that in order to get the first sticker, you have to complete that worksheet that a lot of you have completed already, so thank you. You also have to take a quiz, and I kind of just want to go through that with you really quick here. So this up here says example student. This is like a fake student account that I have created. Your name should appear here, right, on Schoology. So I'm going to go to courses, and I'm going to go to bio, and I'm going to go down to where it says bio week 2, learning targets 1 and 2. And in this purple folder here, you'll have the assignment, and you also have the notes, right? So as soon as you're done with that assignment and you share it with me, and I say you're good to go, you can then go back and take the quiz for the first learning target. The way you do that is you copy this link right here, and you paste it into a new tab, and then you can take that quiz online. You're only able to take it once, so make sure you just review your notes in the assignment sheet before you take it. And I get notified as soon as you take it. So if you haven't taken that quiz yet, you have not earned your first sticker, right? As soon as you take that quiz, you get your first sticker. Also, the way the stickers are working this quarter is you have a sticker sheet, and it can be found in quarter 4 documents down here at the bottom. This sticker sheet is simply just for you to look at. What's going to happen as soon as you pass your first learning target, so I'm pulling up the sticker sheet right here. As soon as you pass your first quiz, I'm going to actually send you your own special copy of this, and I'm going to put a virtual sticker under the success column for you, right? At the end of this week, I'm going to be sending these to everybody, and you're going to either have a sticker or you're going to have like a check mark in this box or this box. So if you have a check in this box, it means you haven't started yet, or you maybe answered 1 or 2 questions. If you have a check in this box, it means you're like almost there. You're chugging along. And if you have your sticker, that means you know you have that first target met. Okay. The goal is for you to have your first 2 stickers by 4/28. It's a week from today. So you want to have a sticker here and a sticker here in 1 week. You can do it. I have faith. Just reach out to me if you need help. You can email me, call me, text me, Schoology me, any of the above. So the second target that we're going to start today, I'm going to read out loud. It says, student knows the difference between a monomer and a polymer, and can name the monomers and polymers of the 4 biomolecules that we learned last week. Okay, cool. So this target is actually one of the easier ones this quarter, I think. So it shouldn't take you too long. And we're going to get started now. I don't have PowerPoint slides for you this week. I'm going to show you something a little bit different. Hold, please, while I pull up what I'm looking for. Okay. At this point, you should see a table. You are looking at what I'm looking at. You are going to create this table. So this video is kind of cool because you can pause it at any time and you can write down and make your own table and copy it. So if you need to pause now, go for it. All right, pause it. So what you're going to do first is make the outline of the table, right? So up here it's going to say biomolecule. You're going to have 4. You're going to have carbs, carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids. You don't need to write any of this. You don't need to write any of this. You don't need to write any of this, and you don't need to write any of this. You just need the names, okay? Next, you're going to write elements or chemical formula. Next, you're going to write function. Next, you're going to write monomer/polymer. Next, you're going to write examples. And you don't need an other. So you don't need this section, this column right here. So I don't want you to fill this whole thing in this week. I only want you to fill in the parts pertaining to the learning target. So all you are going to fill in for me, guys, is this column here with the names and this column right here that goes over monomers and polymers. The first thing I want to do before you even copy this is to talk about what a monomer and a polymer is, right? So before I even get into that, I want to talk about the prefixes of these words. The last unit, you learned a lot about prefixes. What prefixes did we go over last unit? Well, we went over endo and exo, right? Endo means inside, exo means outside, and we were talking about endogenous biomolecules versus exogenous biomolecules. We also talked about, bio. You all know this at this point. I talk about it every quarter. Bio means life. So biomolecules are molecules that are found in things that are alive. And we talked about macro. Macro just means big. So macromolecules are really, really big molecules. One of the questions last week that I think threw some of you off was how are macromolecules related to biomolecules? And the answer to that question, this will help you if you haven't done the assignment yet, is that biomolecules are one specific type of macromolecules, right? So that means that biomolecules are just one. Macromolecules, there's a bunch of different kinds, but biomolecules are just one type, one kind of macromolecule. So the prefixes that I want to go over this week are, hold please, Okay, so the prefixes I want to go over this week are mono and poly. Okay, mono and poly. Mono, the prefix, not always, but typically it means one, right? So let's think of a good example. The best example I can give is monogamous, which, if you don't know what that word means, oh, see, I just spelled it wrong. Silly me. If you're in a monogamous relationship, that means you are in a relationship with one other person. Right? One. Mono, for biology's sake, you see this prefix, it means one. Right? And then there's the prefix poly here. Right? If you were in a polyamorous relationship, that means that you have more than one partner. So poly means more. Wait for it. I hate that sound, guys. I hate it. It means there's something wrong. Just like class, folks. Just like class. Alright, more than one. Typically, poly means more than three, because we have other prefixes in science, or scientific prefixes that mean two, and we even have another prefix that means three. For now, for this unit, I want you to think mono one, poly more than one. Okay? So now we're going to think about this in terms of biomolecules. So insert shape of some sort to help me with my how can I get just a regular shape? don't want that. What this? This work. This work. Okay, so a monomer. A monomer is a biological molecule that is made up of one, keyword one, unit. So if this is my molecule, that's my monomer, right? It's just one. It's made up of one unit. It's as simple as that. Now, if you have a polymer, this is a biological molecule that is made up of many units. So this is where things get a little interesting. So I'm going to take this monomer and I'm going to connect this same monomer over and over and over and over again. So right now we have 3 of them, right? And again, it's the same molecule, but it's the same monomer, but it repeats itself over and over and over again. I'm going to keep adding more to my little chain here. If I'm in class, I always describe this as like a subway, right? A monomer would be one subway cart. The entire subway, that whole train, that whole line of carts is like a polymer. And that's what this is starting to look like, right? It's starting to look like a subway train. I'm going to do one more. Bam. Cool. So that's a polymer, right? You have a monomer and it repeats over and over and over and over again. This should, if I'm not saying anything if it doesn't, but this should make you think of something we learned about last quarter. Something that repeats over and over and over again, right? DNA. DNA is a polymer. It's got repeating units. Thousands and thousands and thousands of repeating units, right? Okay, cool. So, I'm going to go back to my little chart here, if I can find it. Not that, not that. This chart here. So at this point, we should have written down the 4 biomolecules, and we should have written down, actually nothing else yet. Now we're going to start talking about the monomers and the polymers of each of the biomolecules, right? So for carbs, the monomer is a monosaccharide. Mono means one, saccharide means sugar. So this really means one sugar, right? Here's what I want you to know. I want you to know that the monomer of carbohydrates is called a monosaccharide. That mono means one, and saccharide means sugar. The polymer of carbohydrates is called a polysaccharide. Again, poly means more than one, or it means many. Saccharide means sugar. All the polymer is repeating sugar units over and over and over again. All right? One example of a monomer of a carbohydrate is one glucose molecule in our blood, right? Or one fructose molecule in a fruit, an apple, right? A polymer of, so the polymer for carbs is a polysaccharide. An example of polysaccharides would be anything that's starchy, so potatoes, pasta, really complex sugar like candy, right? All of those things. All right, so here's the deal. My video is going to run out of time here in 10 minutes. What I want you to do, guys, for this week is write down your four biomolecules here, your monomers and your polymers, and then your examples. At least one of each. Peace. See